Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. So, with the Bitcoin ETFs, we are starting to see a lot of drama around it. Elizabeth Warren being one of the biggest haters of crypto, obviously. But she put out a statement that also got community notes added to it, which I love to see. But we do see the SEC Gov is wrong on the law. They definitely are. In the wrong way. Listen, the SEC Gov is an absolute joke. But again, she's more so leaning towards the idea that Bitcoin ETF decision should have been completely denied. And she says that they were wrong on the policy with respect to the Bitcoin ETF decision. If the SEC is going to let crypto burrow even deeper into our financial system, then it's more urgent than ever that crypto follow basic anti-money laundering rules. We actually have a community notes. The SEC acted in accordance to new circumstances brought up by the judge in Grayscale Investments LLC versus SEC. This is admitted by SEC Chair Gary Gensler. Now, listen. This whole idea of anti-money laundering. Her anti-money laundering bill is a blatant ban on crypto. It will kill crypto. We've talked about this. We've addressed it. It's no new news, right? But this post speaks volumes. Zero hedge. Money laundered since 2017 using the US dollar and Bitcoin. Wow. This speaks volumes. 20,000 versus 33. Guys, this is insane, to say the least. When we talk about what's going on here, this whole campaign around how, crypto is only utilized for illicit use and illegal activity, it is ridiculous. They are trying to paint the narrative. They've been trying to do this for years and years and years. Now, Elizabeth Warren is obviously one to watch because she does have inner workings behind her. Her bills don't get passed often, but she does have ways of incorporating other bills from other players that do get bills passed. We need to make sure that we are being careful and vigilant here as we do start to see the regulators working with the pro bankers and the pro bankers commingling with all of these other players that are pulling the strings. In my opinion, though, innovation will continue to thrive. It does not matter what Elizabeth Warren or Gary Gensler or any regulator thinks. Also, by the way, with Gary Gensler and the SEC, I feel as though he had no choice but to push for an approval on the Bitcoin ETFs simply because Wall Street owns Gary Gensler. I've talked about this a million times on this channel. He's bought and paid for. He is no better than anyone else that is getting paid off by the big bankers. Remember who BlackRock is. They are not letting an opportunity go past them at all. They will pay the price. They will get it done. And they will 100% win every single damn time. BlackRock does not lose. But also, outside of this, we had Vanguard, which, by the way, if you guys do know, Vanguard, State Street, BlackRock, these are the big players. Vanguard says it has no plans to offer Bitcoin ETFs or crypto products. Spokesperson says high volatility runs counter to our goal of helping investors generate positive real returns over the long term. Now, I would say, yeah, this makes sense. Good on Vanguard to do this, whatever, it doesn't matter. But we already know that there's something happening here. Check this out. Big shout out to Cowboy Crypto for this. Johnny Deaton. Vanguard manages 90% of Gensler's personal fortune worth $120 million. During his first 18 months as chairman, he met 7 times with Vanguard. So as we do look at Vanguard, is this really Vanguard or is it Gary Gensler speaking through Vanguard? Because we do know that Gary Gensler said, "We did not approve or endorse Bitcoin." Gary Gensler said a court forced SEC Gov's hand to approve Bitcoin ETF applications, a groundbreaking moment for Bitcoin. So why wouldn't he work with another player that is just as big as BlackRock in terms of the name and completely deny their customers any access to Bitcoin ETFs or even crypto products? It makes sense. I think that this is crazy. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. But the big news regarding Bitcoin ETFs, like I said, Bitcoin is just a distraction. Focus on the real value. Big shout to Chad Steingraber here. We have, ooh baby, it's all coming together. Listen closely to this. Real-time settlements with the ETFs as the holy grail. You want that XRP to show up, the world is about to know its name. Check it out.
Would you be buying a Bitcoin ETF?
So let me change that topic, Kat. Let's talk about Bitcoin ETF for a minute. I think we've missed a really important component, the whole approval process of Bitcoin and Bitcoin ETF.
Which is?
What's really behind approving a Bitcoin ETF that made it so interesting? Bitcoin is traded in the blockchain and settles real time. Everything traded on an exchange in the United States is traded and settles T+2.
Yeah.
We now have introduced real-time settlement into the exchange system in the United States. That is a big move, and I think that's something that the SEC was having to deal with in approving Bitcoin. So now you've got an ETF that the underlying trades real-time and settles real-time, and you put that in a wrapper that settles T+2. Is this the day where we're going to say, in the future, when we get to real-time settlement and real-time trading, and we trade that way on the stock exchange, and is this the day where it started? And I think we got to think about that.
That's the promised land, isn't it? That's like the Holy Grail.
But it's always been over there, and now over there is in this building.
So there you guys have it. And again, as we really look at the idea of the Holy Grail, real-time settlements, in my opinion, is what everyone should be focused on. I feel as though it doesn't get a lot of spotlight attention in the traditional world, but now that they are starting to talk about it, it definitely makes me wonder, what is next, right? Everyone's looking at these Bitcoin ETFs as a big move for Bitcoin and for crypto. But what happens next? Because these ETFs are huge, but it's a gateway. It's a gateway to other major crypto products. Now, the Holy Grail to me has always been what Delip Rayo, who was a former Ripple executive. Guys, this was always the Holy Grail in my opinion, which was first, you get banks connected on RippleNet to settle with fiat, then get them to source liquidity using XRP, then get them to hold XRP directly, the Holy Grail. This is what I'm waiting for. Again, this was like around 2020. So since then, or 2018 actually. So since then, a lot has changed. I feel as though now we are starting to see the big moves from institutions, from major banks, to really kind of tap into settlement-driven products where we do achieve instant settlement or even near instant settlement timeframes. This is all aligning perfectly for XRP, and the ETFs are a real driver of this as well. I said over on X, and again, I'm not trying to reiterate this post in every single video, but I did include it in multiple videos already. The whole idea of this tweet and this post was to address the fact that the ETFs are just the beginning of what's to come from the institutional players. They're going to be starting to move heavily on major projects like XRP and the XRP Ledger. And the reason why is because clarity, the efficiencies behind it, the time in the market, can they trust it? You got to remember that XRP it's been around for almost as long as Bitcoin. It's one of the most trusted digital currencies in the space and DLTs. Outside of this, though, The reason why we know institutions are here, and they have been here for a while, is this post here. Big shout out to XRP Drops for it. Now, we do see Goldman Sachs 2023 was the year of proof of concept for digital assets. 2024 is going to production. 2025 will be the year of exponential growth. This is a big deal. But also, we got this. Why the capital markets will use blockchains in 2024, this year. In 2024, the virtuous cycle will take place. That will create a very good foundation for 2025, where we will see larger volumes in production. Now, this is actually from the co-founder of Chainlink, which, by the way, Chainlink is a great project. They now have dedicated digital asset teams. Certain banks and asset managers have over 100 people in those teams. They have a mandate and a budget. Within banks, a lot of people pushing for outcomes, achieving the next steps. In 2024, a lot of teams will do things in pilot and move towards production. Clients continue to make requests of banks and asset managers. There is demand from the clients. The teams are also trying to increase the amount of clients. In 2024, the virtuous cycle will take hold. People will start to do on-chain transactions. The pilot version will be cross-chain transactions. The production version will be transactions within the bank itself for various cash management things. That'll create a very good foundation for 2025, where we see larger volumes in production. Check this video out.
Important year for how capital markets use blockchain infrastructure for a few reasons. The first one is that they now have dedicated digital asset teams. I know certain banks and asset managers, they have over 100 people in those digital asset teams, and they have a mandate and a budget. So there's a lot of people now pushing for outcomes within banks to see their digital asset kind of people investment and technical investment go to the next level. And this year, this coming year is the year where I feel that a lot of those teams will be doing things in both pilot and moving towards production. The other thing is that the clients continue to make these requests of banks and asset managers, and there's demand from their clients, which is what we said before would be the main driver. That main driver has now essentially formed into dedicated teams. Those dedicated teams are now not only servicing the demand of existing clients, but they're trying to increase the amount of clients interested in digital assets. So I think this coming year is the year where you really see this virtuous cycle take hold, of people starting to do on-chain transactions as banks. The pilot version will be cross-chain transactions, and the production version will be transactions within the bank itself for various cash management things. And then I think that'll create a very good foundation for 2025, where we will see larger volumes in production. At least that's my expectation.
So there you guys have it. And again, Chainlink has been pioneering some great technology and working with some very large players for a while. Again, I do think that we are on the cusp of a major transition. I think that everything that has happened in just the last couple of years, I mean, the last 3 years alone, have been very exciting. There's been a ton of major events. There's been a lot of moves made by a lot of these big giants, these big banks, institutions, you name it. But also, outside of this, like almost every single major institution has a digital asset team. They are preparing. They're getting ready. They're gearing up for the next phase, which is they're making sure that they are scaling. They're in production. They're now ready to launch. They're getting ready for scaling their internal operations around blockchain. And it all happens this year. This is why I say it's not just about Bitcoin ETFs. Like, we're not just talking about Bitcoin ETFs. We're talking about what they really mean, what they really open in terms of the doors. They are just a key that unlocks a vast amount of potential for institutions to really look into crypto, really look into blockchain and say, yeah, we could do this with blockchain. Let's do it. Let's scale it and let's launch it. And that's what they are going to be doing over the course of the next couple of years. I do think that 2024 is the major time in the market where we really start to see these things launch. And I feel as though it's going to benefit the overall market extremely well. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on, because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.